Autism is a mental disability that affects the understanding of simple concepts and language. Autism is not an easy disability to live with every day. If the population has a better understanding of what autism is and how it affects people, they can have a kinder heart toward those special people. Today, I would like to tell you a little bit of how it affects a person's life. I am also going to explain what sensory processing disorder is, and I would like to tell you why it is difficult for an autistic adolescent to move out of their home and pursue the world on their own. Autism affects people of all ages everywhere in the world. Autism is a disability of communication and behavior on a variety of levels. According to Radoran, who wrote Social Emotional Deficits of High-Functioning Students with Autism in 2013, said 1 in 86 children are diagnosed with autism. She goes on to say that autism is described as an impairment of social cognition, where the child with autism does not develop an understanding or have a recognition of the perceptive others. People with autism have heightened emotions and anxiety, which causes some children to shut down, while it causes others to act out. Having a disability such as autism is a really difficult thing to live with. Children who are diagnosed with autism have a rough time attending public school because of the constant stress and noise going on around them. Warren also says in her article that everyday life presents social interactions, which can be difficult, if not impossible, for someone with autism to live with. Some people have breakdowns throughout their whole life because they can't handle situations going on around them. Now that you are aware of what autism is and how it affects someone, I would like to explain another complication that comes along with autism. All people that are diagnosed with autism are also diagnosed with a sensory disorder. People use their senses every day, whether they think about it or not. Goodman, Scott, and Lambert wrote an article called Professional Counseling for Children with Sensory Processing Disorder in 2015. And they said sensory processing disorder, also known as SPD, is a neurological disorder that all people are diagnosed with who also have autism. SPD is a disorder in which sensory input is irregularly sensed, processed, organized, and responded to, creating sensory challenges that negatively impact daily functioning. They go on to say that people who are diagnosed with SPD have poor sensory processing and either overreact or underreact to stimuli. This explains why people with autism have such a difficult time in social situations. When around many people, it can be very overwhelming, which causes the brain to process the information around you in an incorrect way. A person with sensory processing disorder has very heightened senses. Goodman, Scott, and Lambert also said a person with SPD often hears background noise louder than they hear someone talking right in front of them. Sometimes even lights can be painful because a person with autism sees them brighter than they might be. Textures can also oftentimes be a problem because the brain processes them in a negative way. I would like to show you an illustration, a little bit about this so that you can understand. This shows everything that the brain processes at once. Normal people might not hear a fan or the TV on in the background and hear the person louder, but people with autism hear everything in the background louder than the person talking in front of them, and they also feel different textures in different ways. Now that you're aware of the sensory problems that special needs have to handle on a daily basis, I would like to explain to you why adolescents have a hard time moving out on their own. Many people with autism have a hard time getting out on their own and adjusting to life. Moving out is a difficult transition from living at home to independence. Whiteman, Hoffman, Hodge, and Taylor wrote an article in 2011 called Teaching Teamwork to Adolescents with Autism. In their article, they said that people with autism need step-by-step instruction to complete a task because brains cannot logically comprehend the steps on their own. Employers, teachers, and coworkers are often not educated enough to give proper instruction, which makes it hard for a student or employee to succeed. They go on to say that people with autism do not have the ability to reason through instructions on their own. People with autism need structure to function every day. It takes time and practice to learn to create your own schedule. Not sticking to a schedule can sometimes cause undue stress and anxiety. People with special needs need adequate amount of time to complete everyday tasks because what's easy to one person may not be as easy to the next. You are now aware of what it's like to live with autism. Today, I explained what autism is and how it affects people. I also described what sensory processing disorder is. And I discussed why it is difficult for an autistic person to move out on their own and pursue the world. I hope after learning about autism, the next time you come across somebody who has it, you'll be a little bit more understanding. Now that you know what it means to be autistic, when you encounter a situation with an autistic person, I hope you have a kinder heart.